We're mentally adding music today, and we're started. So, hello! Welcome to a very, 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 very late, and we haven't been playing for a while, Sunday episode of Blunders and Bothwellians, the Wounded Witch edition. This is the Sunday Party, episode 38. Woo! 38. Episode 38. You're not dead yet. Wait. And Arissa opens her character sheet and it just says hit point maximum 69. Which I approve of. So the guys are on a sinking ship. To put it in a very, very small nutshell, you guys have just fought some angels, defeated a hurricane, essentially. The ship you are on is now sinking. The rest of the crew are abandoning ship. The captain has gone to release the prisoners from below decks. You've probably got a maximum of 10 minutes before the whole thing is underwater, and you're in the middle of the ocean. There is no land that you can see in any direction. What would you guys like to do?
Huh.
I mean, technically, Ariel, you're fine because you can fly.
I was just thinking, who would I like best so that I can like pixie dust them?
Me.
Hey, hello, Cass.
Hello.
Hello. We literally only just started. Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
That is okay. That is absolutely fine. The very small recap, you can scroll up and find the 1/8, but the very small recap is that you just killed a bunch of angels, you took half of a soul from one of them, and you are on a sinking ship. You've got about 10 minutes before the ship is underwater and everyone is deciding what on earth to do, and that is where we're at.
Can we actually swim? Can any of us swim?
I mean,
we're in the middle of the sea, so...
So, I mean, you're probably going to have to, whether you can or not. Whether you can or not is going to be up to your athletics checks, but...
Okay.
Quick question. I've just put headphones in. Hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if these headphones had a mic, so... just wanted
No, they don't.
But the mic in the computer or laptop or something will still work. Or a phone.
I'm just thinking, can I use mage hands to help me swim?
So basically,
Kess is leaving and we can all die together.
Holding
I'm
hands in the
floating.
middle of the ocean.
Rosie,
Yes.
Errol would like to pixie dust Arissa because Arissa helped with buying a nice dress.
Okay.
Being nice gets you things.
Yeah. Okay.
Indy's just going to look for the nearest boat.
Okay.
So we can take that down as well.
Yes, you can. I'm getting some Thursday party flashbacks here, so we can take the boat for our own. Oh, it's fine.
Rosie.
I will do a pirate campaign soon. I will.
I seem to remember there were some prisoners there, right?
Yes. The captain of the ship has gone below decks to release the prisoners. One of them you had been talking to try and convince him to follow Urfel.
Yes.
And he had sort of agreed, the tiefling boy. Brett the Brat, as he is known by Belgarath, in and out of character. Which we're not going into again.
Water.
I think Cass wants to check it. Yeah. Cass wants to probably check if Brett can swim and maybe use suggestion to get Brett to help her swim.
Okay, so currently we've got the deck of the ship slowly getting submerged. The captain has not yet come back from underneath decks checking on the prisoners. Ariel is flying. Arissa, you're also hovering, looking quite smug, I was a nice person. So, Cass, are you gonna...
That's because I was.
Panic, bail. You can try and bail if you want. At this point, most of the ship is underwater, but sure, you can try if you want. I swear, the longer you look at that gif, I swear it speeds up. Cass, did you want to go below decks to check on him yourself?
Yes, that's what I was thinking, because I don't have apart from suggestion, I don't have any spells that I think would be useful. So I think Tess is trying to find someone who will help her swim.
Okay. Are you going
With
to
suggestion.
Are you going to attempt to do it to one of your teammates, or are you going to do it to one of the sailors who is abandoning ship?
Oh, who looks like the most likely person to help her swim?
Do any of you guys look like you would help Kess with an endeavour that involves going into the bowels of a sinking ship?
Nah.
I'm going to say, Kess, with your intimate knowledge of your fellow companions, none of them are very likely to help you, regardless of any sort of persuasion or not. There are a few sailors who are getting ready to jump off the ship. Indy,
Yeah,
I nearly called you a Theritas. Indy, do me a perception check. And so yeah, Kess, you've got basically your best bet would probably be a sailor or to go yourself. Meanwhile, Ariel is floating Arissa away from the ship, so she can't help Kess. Cool, noted.
Hey, what might you
Bless
sort
you.
of?
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, Kess, did you want to try and make one of the sailors come with you?
I mean, I don't need people to come. I guess okay. So it might make sense to use suggestion to make a sailor come with me, and if the prisoners can't swim, then Kess can make the sailor help her swim. So that we do.
Bless you.
Bless ya.
And yeah,
Okay, yeah.
cool. Are you going to ask him first and then use suggestion, or are you going to use suggestion outright first of all?
I'm using suggestion outright. Why would
I thought
wait?
so. Why would you ever expect people? Okay, so let me just get the sailors thing up. Okay, so
Oh, that's
Alright.
26
Generic,
perception
if I
for Indy.
okay. Alrighty.
I think it's going to be a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. Cool. Let me get his sheet. Okay, cool. All right, I'll roll that one. Indy, there are no lifeboats. They seem to, if there were any, they seem to have been battered by the storm. But what you can see is a lot of the sailors are sort of taking to bits of driftwood. Some of them have got what seems to be like the back end of one of the cabins that's sort of floating. So there's lots of debris in the water from where because it wasn't just the ship is sinking; it got battered by the hurricane and is now sinking. So there's debris in the water, but there's no actual ships. The wisdom save, Kess, is a 12.
Yeah.
Is he suggested?
I can't remember my DC exactly, but I think it is
I
quite
believe
high.
it's higher than 12. Yours, yes, Kess. Okay, so if you concentrate, it can last up to 8 hours, but essentially you can just use him and then drop him if you want as well. It doesn't have to last the entire 8 hours. So what is your course of activity? You've got a couple of sentences. What would you like to tell him? Suggest. What would you like to suggest?
I
he
guess
does?
it's going to be, help me stay alive and in whatever I need.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yep. Whoa. How can I help you? He looks very happy to help.
Okay, good. Well, we have first check on the prisoners if they can also help us, if they have any knowledge. That would be useful. I think Guess is interested in the prisoners.
All right. I can show you where they are if you want. We can go. Yes. And he starts heading in through the door to the main section to get down the stairs. I can tell what this GIF is and it hasn't even loaded yet. View / Titanic Leonardo DiCaprio Leo DiCaprio Jack GIF. It's like 2 of you could have fitted on that motherfucking door. That's like the great disaster of our age. We will never forgive them for, isn't it? Oh, dear.
They've actually proved that they couldn't both fit on that.
No,
door.
I did watch that thing as well. I was like, oh, fair enough, but still, it looks like they could.
It looks that way, but if they both got on the door would have sunk. So
Yeah.
you say that's our.
Yeah.
That said, Indy's gonna go and look for the nearest bit of door-sized driftwood and go for it.
Yeah,
Indy's about to go surfboarding.
I think I'm going to follow the example and find a decent-sized door to sit on.
Okay, Indy and Belgrath go looking for floating debris. Okay, meanwhile, Kess, you are led down into the hold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the
Did we
sinking
find the
ship.
prisoners?
Of the sinking
Fine,
ship.
it'll be
No,
okay.
it's filling so fast.
And the sailor will
There
keep
was
me
nothing that
safe.
could have been done.
Suddenly holes appear in the side of the ship. Totally not us.
Yeah. Prestidigitation.
Oh, it looks
Crack more
perfectly
holes in
fine.
Is there like a reverse mending cantrip?
Oh, probably. Just break it.
There probably is.
Shatter. What's the D&D equivalent of shatter?
The breaking shit cantrip.
Chaos cantrip. Just smash. Hulk smash. Aerial smash. Kess, the water starts to come.
Anyway.
So the water goes up past your ankles as you go down the steps. It starts to get up to your knees, and in the sort of little bit of corridor there is.
Water.
Yeah, it is horrible, and it's cold, really cold. Like you're.
Well, at least it's not shining. Fine.
No, it's not shiny and bright. That's very true. It's dark, dull, murky salt water.
That's fine. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. As are most things Kess comes
Kess is
across.
right behind
They
me.
are disgusting. In the swamp. Oh, too soon. Now that was too soon. So, you turn and he starts to lead you down the corridor. He's sort of wading through this water. It's slowly coming up to your waist. And he says, you know, if you're gonna, we need to get you off this ship soon. We need to keep you alive. That was what you said, wasn't it? Keep me alive and do what I want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he says, if we're gonna keep you alive, you're gonna need to get off soon. It's it's sinking. It's filling with water.
Yeah. So let's check on the prisoners first. We are not far now, are we?
They are just down the end of the corridor. So you head down. You can hear shouts.
Yeah.
There is the captain, a lassie. She has unlocked the prisoners' door, like the big gate, and she's getting them all out. Some of them are like shoving past her. One of them's trying to argue. There's like the big orc guy. He's arguing about what the hell's been happening and all of this. So the orc just sort of like shoves past and starts running. Like as much as you can run in like waist high water. And he pegs it up the stairs and onto the main deck.
So, is Brett still there?
Yes, he is. He was at the bars, and he is now being shoved out of the way by. There was 2 dwarf twins, the half orc, and the 3 companion ladies. So he's now got two dwarf twins and the 3 ladies like pushing past him. The dwarves are saying like ladies first, but also like trying to get out as well. So Brett has been like shoved to the back. Oh, Belgraf just hates him, and I don't know why. What did he ever do to you?
No, I can't remember at this point. It's one of those things. I can't remember why I hate him, but I know I do.
To be fair, my character in the Thursday campaign hates a child, and I'm still not sure why.
What was that? Sorry.
He dared to exist, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Cass is like, so Brett, ready to join me and serve Irfel. We should be able to get away.
Right now I'm ready to get off this fucking ship. So if that's the way of doing it, then yeah.
Well, I have a little minion who is going to help us. Oh, I mean, dear friend, of course. So, how about my dear sailor? You advise us how best to get off here.
Where? I mean, we're in the middle of the ocean. Where even are we right now?
Yes, but I'm sure a ship is prepared for being wrecked. Must be something we can do.
Swim is the confused option
Right.
you get back. Bearing in mind
So let's
the captain has
assume
just given orders to abandon ship. But as she now runs past you as well, she will tap you on the shoulder as she goes past and say, "Come on, up!" And she escorts the ladies and the 2 dwarves, and they're pegging it back upstairs.
Right. Okay, let's go up. Sailor, do you not have any? What's their name? Boats on ship? Lifeboats?
The sailor thinks, he says, well, we had two, but the winds it's smashed everything up.
Right.
I mean, we could probably like make one if we had time, but I don't. He sort of looks around as the water's rising. I don't really think we have time, and you should go. And he's like trying to push you back up the stairs. Like, I need to protect you. I need to save you. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
Make
we
a
are
boat.
going. Okay, Cass is also going upstairs.
Okay. All right. So Brett follows after you, and the sailor goes first. With you, like, pushing you ahead. Brett will come behind you. So you guys manage to wade your way all the way back up again. You're back on the deck now, and the whole thing, you've got minutes before it comes off. So I'll jump back to Indy, who again, I nearly called Veritas. Indy and Belgraph. You two, do me an intelligence check each to look for a piece of driftwood that would hold your weight.
Alright, give me 1 second.
Oh shit.
That sounds optimistic.
Well
That
done.
would be a 4.
Okay.
Was it an intelligence check? Did you say?
Intelligence,
Four in
yeah.
Oh boy, okay.
Wow. This is why I use
Literally
suggestion to
average.
get people.
Oh, wow. Okay. A 10 and a 4. Okay.
Hey, a 10 is middle of the road.
That is
okay?
true. That's true. Sorry, I'll say that again. So, a 10 and a 4. Yeah, that picture seems quite appropriate. Okay. I'll roll this. Actually, no. Why not? Both of you, please roll me.
You know what? You should. You know what you should do. Indy tries to get on the same driftwood and the same
Okay.
door, and it sinks.
Can each of you roll me a d6? And Indy, can you remind me you're wearing armour?
Yes, plate.
Oh boy!
I shouldn't laugh, but I'm
And
going.
you rolled 4.
I feel amazingly about to drown.
in comparison to Indy, I think you'll be all right. Okay, so
Okay, I rolled a 6 on
okay, cool.
you with that.
Oh, wait, is this everyone or just?
If you're gonna look for some sort of piece of driftwood, then do an intelligence check as well, Kess. Arissa, you're floating. You're good.
Oh, okay, you just said everyone, so.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Kess, if you want to try and find a piece of driftwood or a piece of wreckage to float on, do
Okay.
an intelligence check.
But is that what the sailor is telling me to do, or is the sailor doing
Yeah,
that for me?
no, the sailor is gonna. If he can roll it for you if you want, but his stats are probably not as good as yours. So, would you like the sailor to roll his intelligence check for you, or would you like to do it yourself?
My intelligence is not great
Alright.
either. So
You
I feel
can
like
do
this
it
is one
for
of
you.
those moments where the DM is trying to subtly suggest you in the right direction.
The DM is using
Yeah.
subtle
This
stuff.
is one of those.
You know
Are
what
you
it is?
sure?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. He's got a
Maybe the
17.
sailor is helping me.
The sailor's got a 17, so he will do it for you.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
That's much better than me. Thank God.
I'd have let you do it yourself if you'd rolled like a 4. Okay. So
Yeah, it would have been a 4.
in which case, Cass, can you also roll me a d6? So
Okay.
Indy, you got a 5, Belgraph, you got a 6. Okay, so Belgraph, with your fairly decent sort of middle of the road score of a 10, you have a look around. You see that there's about 6 or 7 sailors on like a big piece of the back of the boat. You see there's another one holding onto like a huge chunk of what looks like mast with some rigging attached, like sort of like holding onto a barrel, but like it's a piece of the mast. And you see there's 2 to 3 of them on different pieces, maybe the size of like a double doorway. And then various different points. So you sort of look around, taking all that into consideration, you think you're probably going to need something about the size of a door. So you look around and you see a big piece of wood that's blown off the side. Thank you, Titanic, for teaching us this. So you see a bit. The problem is, Belgrath, that bit that would support your weight, it's not very close to the ship, so you will have to swim for it. Indy, you see a really, really, really nice looking bit of wood. It looks great. It looks like it was once a piece that was up next to the steering wheel. You can see like a bit of wheel that's still stuck to a piece of it that's sticking out. You think, that's for me. That's pretty cool. And it's sort of bobbing right near the rear of the ship. I was about to throw myself in trouble there.
If it's anything like the picture I've got in my head, that is not going to support Indy's weight by any stretch.
Bearing in mind, Indy rolled very low.
This is true.
And Kess, you spot with your two. So you look around as
You spot
well.
a twig.
You spot a twig drifting past and think that might do for Ariel, but not anyone else. You have a look around as well. And you watch the sailor, and he is looking around strategically. And he says, and there's a big chunk off the front of the ship, off the bow, right next to the figurehead, that's got half blown off by the hurricane. And he walks up to it, and he gives it a good kick. And the last bits of it splinter off. And it sort of falls down and lands in the water. It doesn't have to fall far, because the deck's now covered in water, so let's be honest, it's fallen about 3 inches. But it does land in the water, so Kess, the sailor sort of beckons to you, and you can essentially step onto your life raft.
Ah, perfect. This is exactly why I use suggestion. Suggestion well spent.
Perfect use of a spell slot. Okay.
Cass is proud of herself.
And regally climbs aboard your piece. Off the front with bit of...
I mean, just to say, my role would have been 4 as well if it wasn't for the sailor.
That's why you befriend the sailors. Are you taking the sailor with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, and Brett as well, if we all fit.
Yeah, you can all fit. He's looking for you and for Brett. Okay, so all 3 of you get onto that. Lovely. Yeah. All right. So Belgrath. The bit that you think would support your weight that hasn't currently got loads of other sailors clamoured around it trying to hold on, you're going to have to swim. It's about maybe 20, 30 feet away from the ship. You can swim it. It's not like horribly far away, but you will have to get in the cold water and swim.
All right, fair enough. Down with that.
Okay, so you're going to swim for it?
Yes.
Okay. Could you do me a constitution check against the freezing cold water when you have to immerse yourself in it?
Sure. Okay. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Meanwhile, while he's rolling that, Indy, are you?
Yep.
How would you like to get onto the piece of wood that you have spotted that is floating quite near the back of the ship?
She's just going to jump for it.
Alrighty, cool.
This can only end brilliantly.
This can only end well. Okay, Indy, do me a dexterity check. No, do me an acrobatics check for jumping onto that. Belgarath with your 16. Okay, the water is cold, and you're a fire person. This is not okay, but it's bearable.
Oh, me tenders.
Yeah, you grit your teeth, you hold your nose, you jump in. It's all, well, you don't really jump in, you sort of step off the side of the ship and just sort of sink. But you can float okay, because you're not wearing any armour at all, are you? You're just sort of in clothes, sort of chill. Not. Cool. Arissa is doing loop-de-loops. Yes, I like this idea. Arissa and Errol just above like, ha-ha, loop-de-loop, wee!
Yep. Errol is making swimming motions through the air as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, and don't forget, Errol is still a lady.
Yep.
So Lady Errol, in her magnificent dress, is like swimming through the air.
Indy just got a lucky 7.
Indy got a lucky 7. Okay.
Well,
Belgrath, you're doing fine in the water, so you start swimming. Do me an athletics check to swim over. You should be fine. It's not a very high DC. Go on, do it. Indy with your 7. All right, Indy, you climb up the steps, which are slowly rising with water, to the back of the boat, and you jump off the side. and you think, awesome, cool, Belgrath, you get all the way over and you can cling onto this door. If you want to try and clamber onto it, that's another check, but for now you're hanging onto it, you're floating, you've got a floaty device. Your floating device is operational, you're good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to climb onto the door if
Okay, cool. Do a strength check to pull yourself up out of the water. Indy, meanwhile, can you do me a constitution check for your cold water? Because you've taken a bath.
What do I add to that? Constitution, right? There we go. So that's best roll of the night so far. 13.
Yeah, okay. Not too bad. Indy, you realise at sort of midway down, as it were, that you may have made a terrible, terrible miscalculation.
mistakes have been made.
Mistakes have been made. As you jump down, narrowly avoiding getting impaled by a piece of the steering wheel, you realise that although it's quite big, it's also a quite thin piece of the boat, and you're wearing quite a lot of armour that you can't take off. Ah, bugger. And you land with a sort of thump against the wood, which immediately starts to sink under your weight. The cold water hits you. Motherfucker! It's not horrible because the 13's like, it's okay. You have to grit your teeth and scream in whatever language you want. But it's okay. It's just bloody cold. You do realise, however, that you did make a miscalculation. You are slowly sinking. Like the wood itself, it's quite buoyant. But with you and your armour on top of it, it is like slowly sinking. Like it within the next 5 minutes, it's going to go under completely, and take you down with it.
She's going to look for the nearest appropriate piece of wood to transport.
Okay. Do an intelligence check with advantage this time. Belgrath, was that a 15 for your strength?
Yes, it was, yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. You managed to heave yourself up. Not very dignified, but you sort of pull up with your arms and sort of roll backwards and land on top of the sort of floating door-sized piece of wreckage. So you're up, you're on it, you're cool. 9 with advantage, Indy.
That wasn't so bad.
The other one was a crit fail.
Alright. But it's better than a 4. You've learned. Okay, so with your newfound knowledge of what not to do, you look around, and you do see another piece. It's got like a big piece of sail attached to it, sort of flapping, a bit of the rigging as well, but there is a massive piece. It looks like another piece of the mast, but it's long and it's thick and it's sturdy, and you reckon if you sort of like held on to it, at the very least it would keep you up. If you sort of held on to it sort of like a koala hugging a tree, then you could probably stay afloat as well.
She's going to try and paddle the piece of wood that she's already clinging onto over towards it.
Okay, cool. Do me athletics. Do me athletics for that. Sort of do your rowing-esque thing. I'm just going to put in my notes. Indy made mistakes.
That's 19.
Okay. You sort of break off a piece of the wood and you sort of frantically slowly like paddle like you're bodyboarding but just slowly sinking as you go like da, 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 da. You manage to get over a huge big piece of mast. You can cling to it. Do you want to do like a koala style hold onto the top of it, or are you just going to sort of hang your arms around it and hang?
She's just going to hang on to it.
For dear life.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, so we've got 2 of you in the air, loving life. We've got 2 of you in the water. Well, Belgrath, you're sort of in on the water. Indy in the water, but you're doing okay for now. And Kess regally astride your noble vessel with your 2 companions. Most of the crew seem to have made it. The captain has joined a lot of her men who've made space for her on a big piece of the ship's wreckage. You can see a few others drifting, and slowly the ship does just sink. And eventually the crow's nest and the topsail disappear under the dark water and are gone. And there's a silence now. The storm has raged past, the hurricane's gone. It's still quite dark and cloudy overhead, It's quite gloomy, but the winds have died down and the seas have calmed just a little bit. There's just a little sort of blub, blub, blub where the last little bubbles of air have disappeared, where the ship's sunk. So, you guys have a myriad of choices at the moment. There is a current, and it's washing in roughly the same direction. The crew and their captain have already started washing away on it. They've just decided to let themselves get carried away on the current, and they're all sort of counting one another, seeing where they all are. You guys are a bit further back because you were the last ones to get off the ship. So, choices. What would you like to do?
So I think Tess wants to know from the sailor if the sailor knows how they can get to Trevis. She still very much wants to get to Trevis.
Okay. He will say, well, Trevis is... We were over there... Right, he sort of scratches his head and has a think while I do his survival check. Ooh, not too bad. Okay. He says, well, right, thing is... And he sort of licks his finger and sticks it up in the air and looks around. He looks at the sun, which is only just visible through some of the clouds, and he says, well, current's going northeast, and Trevis, and he points in the other direction, is south. So, Trevis would be that way, and he points. Problem is, we'd have to fight the current, which is going that way, and he points to sort of where the crew and the captain are now sort of slowly disappearing off.
And where is the current bringing us then?
Oh, hello.
Oh, did you join us?
Errol's hovering over.
Yep.
Oh, did Errol hover over
Yeah.
to join us?
I'm going to give Errol license to listen to everyone's conversation because he can literally zip between all of you, like, in the air, warm and dry. I don't know, if northeast, if you keep going far enough, you get to Risha. It's a long way, though. It's a bloody long way, and...
Can we go there? There's a forest there.
No.
I mean, it's
We
a
must go to
long
Trevis.
way. I mean, that's to go that way, to go from the east coast of Trevis all the way around to the west coast of Risha. You're looking at months, and that's on a ship, just floating.
Yes, we have to figure out how we can find the current and get to.
I mean, paddling, but it knackers you out. But
Brett, do you have any ideas?
Brett is busy sort of wringing out his long hair in the ocean, like...
Could always jump off, would drown him. That's an idea. I'm not
Can
saying
I
it'd be
land on his
productive
head?
for all of us, but it is an idea. Just saying.
What was that? Pointy ears? He like shouts back at you, Belgrath.
I couldn't hear you over the amount of edge in your voice, I'm sorry.
It's all coming back to him, why he hates him now.
Yeah, I think it's all coming back to me. It's the way that you just remind me of a sanitary product that a woman might use on a midsummer night. And the bag it came in.
Errol's going to keep Pixie dusting her wrist every now and then, so she doesn't even dip her toes in the water. Ah, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. Indy, are you looking for dead bodies, or are you looking for people who are trying to swim?
Dead buddies.
Okay.
Lovely.
Ooh, are there any souls nearby, actually?
I
Of dead
will-
people.
I will do my percentile check, and I will let you know.
Just fuck
There is
Just get the fuck out.
There's 11. It wasn't a massive crew. Some of them, it looks like they were either below decks and couldn't get out, and they got dragged down with the ship and then floated out as it sunk. Some of them look like they got hit.
Ooh.
There is some blood in the water, so some of them got hit by the falling mast and things as the hurricane blitzed past. Some of them look like they've been blasted out. So there are 11 dead bodies.
Yes.
Three of them are quite close. 5 of them have completely floated away, like they are going out of your reach on the tide now.
Okay, so how many souls can I eat? Is it just 3?
Well, there's 3 close by, and there's another 3 sort of within your vicinity. If you went to them quite promptly, you could get to them. Anyone
So
who
how
wanted
many
to.
can I get?
Indy says in an ominous voice.
I think I need some mead.
So Indy's going to cast Animate Dead.
Okay. Belgarath, do me a perception check.
Sure.
Cool. Sorry, Indy, carry on.
Can cats get the souls before that? Like, or is it not going to work after Animate Dead?
Casting it at 4th level 2, so that will get me 3 minions.
You can have 3 minions. Cass, you can.
I don't think I noticed, Rosie, because I've got a 5.
Okay. There is some mead barrels that are floating somewhere, but you've got no idea where they are. Sorry.
Oh, I was talking out of character. I was just saying.
Well,
personal
Gareth, information. There are some. Cass, I'm going to say you don't need souls to animate them. Or at least if you do, then I think that's ridiculous. So, yeah, Cass, you can...
Okay.
There's the 3 within your reach that Indy can get. Do you want to go for those 3 first, or do you want to go for the 3 that are further away from you first?
Let's go for the closer ones first.
Okay.
It shouldn't take long.
Okay. How would you like to get to the dead bodies? Because they're all close. You need to be a little bit closer to reach them. Are you going to get your sailor to paddle you over?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Cool, he's rolling quite well tonight. This sailor's doing quite well. Okay, he sort of...
It was a good choice.
It was a good choice, well done, guess. He breaks off a piece of wood, and he sort of, like Indy did, only a little bit more precision. He sort of follows your directions as you point, and confusedly, he sculls you over there. Brett has now sat down cross-legged at the back and is staring around grumpily. Keeping the weight even on your little vessel. But yeah, so Cass, you get up to the 3 close ones. You can...
I mean, they all have their uses.
Everyone has uses. So Cass takes 3 souls. These ones put up absolutely no fight whatsoever. They were simple sailors. You can just rip the soul from the body. They're dead. So you've got 3. And if you want to go for the ones further away, then I'm going to have to double check whether you can fight to get there in time before they get drifted away on the current. So, 2. Oh, there we go. All right, he got a nat 20. Oh, he got a nat 20, a nat 1, and a 12. So you can get 2 of them, but the third one, it just gets washed out of reach. And if he can't keep paddling enough to catch up with it. So you can get 5 in total.
Okay.
Which I believe brings your total up to 90 and a half, I think you've got now, Cass.
Oh, is it 90 and a half? Because I had 88. 90 and a half sounds even
I think
better.
it's 90 and a half because...
the angel?
Yeah, because the angel gave you half.
Okay. So I have almost accomplished my quest.
So close! Let's see if you can get there before Indy takes another 25 damage.
We can handle that 25 damage quite quickly.
Errol has flown up next to Arissa, and what have you said to Arissa?
I'm saying to Arissa, lucky we don't have to bother with all this, right? Pointing to all of the people trying to stay afloat.
She stops mid-twirl, looks at Errol and goes, bother with what?
Well, them trying to stay afloat. All we have to do is fly.
I mean, shouldn't we help them, maybe?
They're fine.
Actually, Arrow, if we wanted to get to Travis faster, you could actually help us. I mean, I do have kind of a small ship we could take.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily have to go to Travis.
Why ever would you not want to go to Trevis?
Because Trevista is a dead country.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear on
It
why we're
is-
going in the first place.
We have business there. Did you not remember the promises that you made? Yes, and you are going to be rewarded richly.
But
I
the
don't remember
rewards
5 minutes
that
ago.
Accurate.
What?
So, let's go over it. The reward that you promised me was to find my lady and my kingdom again. I have a lady, I have a kingdom. Let's go somewhere else.
Well, I'm going to Trevis because I'm fulfilling my quest. Because some
Okay.
of us here have loyalty.
Why would I have loyalty to a goddess that doesn't even have real powers?
She
Yeah,
does. Real
and also I
powers.
never promised to do anything.
No, you were kind of forced into this situation.
That's true. And frankly,
Look.
choices going elsewhere, I'm cool with.
Look, if you do not see her greatness, then that's your problem. But I am going to Trevis. And if you want... I don't know what you want to do, but there is a lot for you to gain with her foul.
Such as
She's the greatest...
serving a fake goddess.
She's not fake. Is my power not real to you?
Well, this is
we all
what real
have
power looks
powers.
like, and I show her my holy symbol.
There are multiple gods, and not everyone has serve the same stupid god.
I don't really serve any gods, and I could blow a hole right in your boat.
Ooh, I'd like to see that.
That's true, actually. My sister is in Travis. Could go there.
Finally.
Sorry, just a thing that Belgrath would have remembered, but I think his player did not.
Yep, that is true. I had kind of space. But in my defence, it has been
That's fine.
literally
No,
a year since I last
that's
saw
why
it.
I sent it. It's fine. I was like, if you're looking for reasons, that's fine, but don't worry.
Errol
I could
just
go for a
continued to muck around, suggesting other places anywhere except Trevis. Just going like, ooh, we could visit Emily again. We haven't been there in a while.
As soon as if I can convince my sister to come with the fuck out, he says, from the sound, he's going to go quite to hell, quite.
So we're just gonna save your sister then?
I mean, I am. You're like,
I'm okay
They are
with
still
helping.
on
At
a
least I don't
quest.
have to serve a fake goddess then.
Small-minded idiot.
you're really keen on the whole conversion thing, aren't you? I just sell.
She is a real goddess. The only real thing that ever
Well,
exists.
hang on. You just said that there were multiple gods, so Urfel isn't the only. You're contradicting.
Okay, out of character,
No.
that sales pitch is falling apart quickly, guess.
No, to me, you don't understand. You don't understand anything. To me, she is the only real power. I do not care about your stupid gods.
So you denying
recommend
that Errol's god has any power?
I do not care whether it has any power. There's nothing to gain from that goddess. And if Errol doesn't want to take part in this quest and feels they don't have anything to gain, that's not my problem. I will get there without their help.
Alright? That sounds.
Okay, good luck.
Fine, let's paddle then.
Whoa, paddling. I said I was going to paddle. Tell you what, my plan
I
is.
wasn't
I've
talking
got
to
a,
you, Belgarath.
I've got a spell called
You can
Gust of
rock
Wind. I'm
here
going
if
to
you
turn my raft into a speedboat.
Indy's just got her 3 zombies just
They are
boarding her along.
They are paddling. They are paddling next to you. So the sailor does
Wait. Technically, Cass also has animate dead to get zombies.
You do.
I just remembered.
The last 3 just drifted very far away from you, but you do. But maybe you and Indy can share. That's cool. Now the sailor does say to sort of all of you as this conversation is happening, he says, from everything I've ever learned, surviving at sea much easier in a group. If nothing else, and he sort of looks between Belgarath and Brett, you can eat the most annoying one if you run out of food. That's his sales pitch to you, Belgarath.
I'm sold. I'm fucking sold.
So that's one's on board. And if you
Belgarath,
can...
you know how to grill him
tell us
before,
more.
right?
Never eaten tiefling. That'll be.
I hear it tastes like chicken.
He just sticks his finger up at you, Belgarath.
What? Sorry.
He sticks his middle finger up at you. Just putting that in my notes now. Belgarath wants to eat Brett. Okay, cool. There's a sentence I never thought of. Right. And he does say, like, if you have to...
It's not that I want to eat him, it's just if it comes to it, I know who my first choice is going to be.
I know who I'm going to be voting for first choice.
I mean, I'm surprised that I'm not your first choice, Belgarath.
Well, I mean, you're the whole dragon. I imagine hard on the teeth. Things are a little...
Well said, Squishling.
I mean, we can always try cooking Cass second.
That's true.
As if any of you would know how to even do that.
Okay, without getting into a big discussion on how you eat people, and the sailor is looking very disconcerted at all of you right now, like, what have I gotten myself into? And he looks to the distant speck on the horizon that is everyone he knows floating away, like, could have been with my crew. I'm with these lot. I'm scared. I'm alone. I think they might eat me.
I can use a fireball. It'd be like instant flambeing. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's okay. You are the last
Flambe.
person that we are eating because you actually know what you are doing.
Well, that makes me feel a lot safer. The important thing is that we could be adrift for a long time. This is quite a popular ship route. It's quite a popular run, so if we, stick together, then we could probably flag down another ship if it comes along, but if we keep drifting that way, we're just gonna go out into open ocean. No one goes that way. The massive bit of water between this side of Trevis and Risha, we'd never see anyone ever again.
Yes, right. So let's go to Trevis and let's work together if we must. You're making good sense, a good sailor.
Thanks.
My name is Cass, if you want to know.
Cass, yeah. I mean, in the interest of keeping you alive, it probably is easier to, stick everyone together. I spell breath, and maybe not use any flaming spells around the only bits of wood between us and sinking and dying in the ocean.
Can I cast Mage Hand?
We should found this one because this is just summing up the conversation we were just having.
Okay. Send the gifts. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I like this one. This beautiful gift. I finally found it after 15 years. The Scroll of Truth. You must work together for survival. Yeah!
Yeah! The tiefling emo is annoying.
That's just Belgarath, isn't it? Like, yeah! I don't want the
Yeah.
emo tiefling's annoying.
This sailor is making
I mean,
too
he's
much
I will
sense.
have you know, he is wearing bright yellow underpants decorated with stars and sunshines, but you'll never see that side of him, Belgarath, because you don't care.
Actually,
Would
Isabel
I?
Brett.
In what situation would that come up?
Belgarath, it would come up when his pants burn off of his body.
Oh, maybe he really was a nice guy after all. Shame we roasted him.
Ah, well, sailor me.
Someone just needs to seduce him, Belgarath.
What?
She's looking at you, man. She's looking at you.
You've
Yeah,
been
I know,
nominated
but
to.
my question is why?
This is the most relevant to you.
Roast the tiefling, roast the dragonborn. I can't decide. Both. That's my favourite gift ever. So basically, yeah, you guys,
Both is good.
both is good. I love that movie. I need to
Both.
watch it again.
Both is good. I think that that El Dorado gif is only outdone by the stars one.
Which one's that one?
It's the clip where he's saying, we can't sacrifice today because the stars are not in the right position. And then he goes behind them, just going,
stars!
like he said,
No good.
stars, can't do it,
Can't do it. No good.
not today.
So are you lot going to heed the sailor and potentially try and stick together as per the scroll of truth?
Why would
Yeah,
we
I
stick
suppose we probably
together?
should. We're kind of stuck doing that anyway. So.
And it's almost as if you need to stay together for plot convenience. Now, basically, are you guys gonna go with the current, or are you gonna start paddling and kicking and going against it towards Trevis?
Well, Cass is
a-
definitely trying to get to Therese.
All right. So Cass is trying to go to Trevis with her lot.
Yeah.
Innie's going to direct her zombies to start kicking her in the general direction of Trevis.
All right. You got.
Can I
Okay,
use Mage Hand to
it's
pull Cass's boat back?
in.
Sure. The sailor starts
Okay,
looking confused as he's
think
paddling and it's not going anywhere.
This is the stage where Cass is using Eldritch Blast on Errol if he is trying to get in her way.
Belgarath and Orissa, while this is going on, what you've heard staying together is the safest option. You've got two groups essentially now heading off in the direction against the current towards Trevis. What would you two like to do before the Eldritch blasting begins?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off in the same direction as them, I suppose.
All right, following Indy in that. All right, Orissa, you're flying.
Yeah. To do so, Rosie, just to get my boat started, to sit on the end with my back facing base,
Okay.
and then I'm going to perform a gust of wind to get the boat moving
Very
at a
nice.
sharp pace.
Okay. Belt lies on his back on door, for want of a better word, and uses gust of wind. Alright, cool.
It's basically a motorboat now.
Yes. Way.
Alright, cool. So that's most of yours. Meanwhile, Ariel has pulled Kess's, for want of a better word, boat back with Mage Hand. The sailor has looked confused and then turned around. The one I nearly called a drow, the tiefling, the grumpy emo tiefling, has looked up at you. And Kess, you notice what Ariel is doing.
Yes, so Errol, you better let go or I'm turning to force here.
Okay, and I just let go of the ship for now. Or ship thing.
Flotation device thing.
Yes. I'm letting go for raft.
Okay. Alrighty, cool. Alright, Cassie has let go. And your sailor can continue to paddle you. Ariel, are you following the group?
Yes, but on the ship that does not involve Cash.
Alright, cool. Okay. So
It's temporary. It's a two.
okay, so you guys all head off. You continue in this vein for nearly an hour. Can everybody who is in the water, so Belgarath and Indy, that's it. Can you two please do me another Constitution check? Belgarath, your
cold.
DC is lower because you have only got your legs in the water.
Okay. Okay, I have got a 13. Yes, 13.
That gift is accurate, sorry. 13. Okay, Belgrath. Your legs are a little bit pins and needlesy, but you're alright. You're alright. Indy with your 6. Brilliant. Indy, it is cold. It is really cold. Indy, you've got a point of exhaustion. If you take another 2, you're going to pass out. But you'll re-roll for every sort of hour that you're in the water. So you've got another couple of hours. You're okay, but good God, it's cold.
Indy makes sure
You
that
need
the
a
ropes
head
that
there.
she's tied to herself are thoroughly secured.
Okay.
Almost
You need a
tempted to
hand
just
there,
flip the
Indy.
raft that Indy's tied to the top of.
Don't be mean. Or do. Entirely up to you. Flip Chaos's raft. But no, I'm not encouraging.
Hey!
Flip the raft. Flip the raft.
Flip the raft.
Flip the raft.
So, I don't
Don't
need
be
to create
weak,
any
I'm
baddies. I've just got Ariel causing chaos for me. This is fine. I've got no monsters. This is fine. It's just Ariel. Give him 5 minutes. Oh, yep, there he goes. Sorry, her. Ariel's a her now. Okay, so it's been an hour and a bit. Can everybody do me a perception check?
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
That's
Okay, I did
pleasantly
not expect
surprised.
Jesus. 6 perception.
Woo! Well, to be fair, you have got your back to everything.
I saw it.
I saw a
fish.
thing. Oh wait, it was my own foot. Okay, Jesus, Ariel, calm down. Alright, so Orissa
I
and
decided to see all the things apparently.
you see right through the
saw
cosmos.
everything.
Okay, so Belgrath, you've got your back to everything, you're kicking, so you can't see quite ahead. Orissa and Indy and Kess and Lady Ariel, and I will roll for the Drow and the Sailor. Okay, the Sailor doesn't spot it, because Seema's just busy. And, okay, the Tiefling does. Okay, those of you who pass, so everyone except Belgrath, you see shapes under the water.
Uh-oh.
What? What is it?
What sort of shapes?
It might just be a fish.
New friends!
They are quite dark from a distance. You can just sort of see shapes. The water's quite murky. And as they come closer, it's almost like a procession. There's like sort of not quite as single file as you could be in the ocean. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shapes in the water.
There's 8 fishes
It's like
there.
Sesame Street.
1. They are getting closer to you and speeding up a little bit. And as they get closer, you realise that they are...
Rosie.
Yes.
Before they get too close, I want to use Misty. So I want to use Silent Image underneath my raft to make it look like there is no raft there, just ocean.
Okay.
So there's no sound to it. It's just an image of ocean top
Okay.
and sky.
Alright.
So basically, if they're under the water, they're not going to see.
Okay. For up to 10
The
minutes.
rest.
Yep.
Yeah.
15 feet. No, you're not bigger than 15 feet. That's fine. Yep. Cool. That's fine. Alright.
That's
Noted.
it.
Noted. Okay.
But I'm still observing them.
Yeah. Okay. As they get closer, you notice that the shapes are probably about the size of your average human. In terms of how big they are. They're not human-shaped, they're just as large as a human in terms of size. And
These fishes are massive.
Are they mermaids?
Do an intelligence check.
Oh no!
Can I take a closer
My
look as well?
weakness.
Yeah, sure. Anyone who wants to take a
Oh
close
my
look, do an
God.
intelligence check.
Well, I haven't noticed anything, so I can't.
Indy's going to
I'm
try
still
and
just-
identify it.
Belgrath, you can if you want, because you have been alerted to them, so you can you could sort of flip over and have a look. Oh, okay.
Well done, Jess.
And this
I
is why I
asked what
said, "Oh no, my weakness."
I asked what is it like 5 minutes ago. Nobody answered, so I'm still just looking wildly trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Okay.
There's fishes underneath
that's
the water.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
It's not
Yeah.
fish, but I don't know what it is.
They are big fishes. Like, they're about you-sized.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
Indy,
well, there are
you're
plenty of
not
those living in the
sure
sea.
what they are, and Ariel, they don't look like what you've heard mermaids look like.
Wait, what does Cass think? I want
Cass
to
thinks,
know.
Cass thinks these are weird. I don't know what they are. They're probably something from a Disney cartoon. Ugh.
They might glitter, is what Guess thinks.
Are they glittering?
There is a little bit of shimmer to them, yes.
Oh no, Cass is annoyed at them already. She hates them.
Can I, like,
Oh, no.
try to call their attention by making noises and splashing the water with my toes?
Sure you can. Do a general dex check just to.
Okay. Oh yeah, shit, that was a good stat. So I rolled a 10.
Okay.
After modifier, that's a 21, though.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to cause a great deal of noise and you attract their attention, and the 8 shapes sort of, they're probably about maybe 6-7 foot deep in the water at the moment. They come gliding over underneath you and they're slowly coming
Yeah,
up towards
Cass
the
is
surface.
instructing the sailor to stay away from Ariel.
Okay, noted.
I'm gonna
Smart.
I'm gonna just take my legs out of the water now at this point.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna fly up as they come closer, because they are kind of terrifying. Their mouth is the size of me, probably.
Yep. As they get close to the top of the water, they never break the surface, but you do see pop. What breaks the surface of the water is, like, with a tiny little pop, is like a sort of a knobbly crest on the top of their head. They're all different shades of dark pink and stormy blue, with a little bit of a glittery glisten to them. They've got a curved sort of snout that goes into a long, elongated nose, and then they curl back around, and then it disappears into the water in a big sort of bending S shape. It seems they have like a very long, curly tail. You're speaking to them in what language, Ariel?
Primordial,
Primordial. Okay.
because that's from, like, the plane of water and such.
Okay. What are you asking?
I'm just asking who they are.
The 8 shapes just float there. You don't get a response.
They're ignoring me.
Ooh,
Let's
are
stab
they
them.
beasts?
Wait! I got a better idea. How about let's?
But if we stab them and we kill them, we get lots of fish, which means we have food. Because fish is
Well, we
healthy.
can just catch fish.
Yeah, these. By killing them.
Yeah, these might not be fish.
In which case, we get a different kind of food. Can't be much worse than tiefling.
But we can just catch fish without these. What the hell are these things? Do you know anything about them?
Well, they're
Cass
shapes,
is trying to.
and they're big,
All things are shapes.
and they're
Rosie.
probably not mermaids.
Cass is trying to
Alright.
look in the book for them if there's anything in in her book about them?
There's not a lot about water creatures or
Okay.
anything in that book. The sailor does lean in and have a closer look. And he sort of... Oh.
What?
Would anybody
what
else
are
like
these?
to have a slightly closer look now that they're closer to
Yes.
you? Alright.
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
good.
have a
I'm
look.
Good.
Alright, do an intelligence check. Anyone who wants to take a closer look now they're up towards the surface.
Slightly better now.
What'd you get?
16.
I did well as well. A natural 1, -2.
Well done.
So Errol's just flown right into the sea.
Yeah. Errol just looked so hard that he splashed into it with them. Kess. The shapes you see them under the water are essentially a 6-foot tall version of this.
Ooh. A what?
Oh, maybe we can befriend him and ride him.
Seahorses.
They are giant
Tame them.
seahorses. They're
Oh.
I feel like I just accidentally handed you another pet.
Yeah.
It's a dire
Dire
seahorse.
They're called
like
giant
regular
in the book, but I'm
seahorses,
gonna
only
go
dire.
with dire.
Guess is thinking about whether you can animate a seahorse.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Wait, Jess wants to kill one just so she can have a skeletal giant
It doesn't
seahorse?
need to be skeletal, but you know.
Guess.
I mean,
riding
she
on a
doesn't
skeleton seahorse.
have a very good animal handling stats, but she has a lot better stats for controlling undead.
Her undead handling is better than her skeleton handling. Or than her seahorse handling.
Yes, definitely. That's what I'm thinking. But I guess I'm asking the sailor. So have you seen creatures like this before? They look like kind of like a horse, but a fish horse.
Yeah, they are. They're known as sea horses. They can be all right if they're not irritated. I wouldn't want to get too close because they're unpredictable. They're not horribly violent, but you know if they think they're in danger, they'll protect themselves. How do we get seahorse saddles?
but-
Asks Errol.
Yes, because I'm thinking it might be useful if we can get them to maybe help us get to Travis. It might be a lot faster to maybe pull our ships. Well, rafts.
I mean, and the sailor sort of looks around, and he didn't quite clock what Indy did. So as far as he knows, Indy has 3 of his crewmates with her. So 3 plus Indy, plus Belgrath, plus Cass, plus Brat the Brat, plus himself. Oh my god, is 8! I just rolled for how many of them appeared. That is legit. That's amazing. Anyway, so he just counts and goes, there is one for each of us. If you want to try.
Well, yes, but I was thinking it might be easier if they just pull our raft.
Oh,
Well, if they put it in the right direction.
That sounds a lot less scary to try and do. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm not an animal person. How? Any ideas how we could try?
Me neither. I guess attach a rope to them, but the only question is how cooperable they will be. Hey, any of you lot, do you know anything about animals? Anyone at all? Even Brat?
He just looks up, rolls his eyes, and looks away.
Indy's just gonna say, if I wasn't hanging on for dear life, I'd shrug right now.
Okay.
To be fair, I only
So
know
get-
creatures that live in the forest.
Right.
I've
I'm
never been
guessing
around this much water.
we could use mage hand, so I could use mage hand to attach a rope to them and see if they pull us in the right direction. I don't know how to get these things to take us in the right way. They're not like Grar, who was just so friendly. They eat flesh. Yeah, if no one has any better ideas, then Cass is probably trying to use some rope to attach it to one of
Okay.
the seahorses with mage hand,
Do you have any rope with you?
I think. Unless I've lost all my rope.
If you've got,
I mean,
if
we
you've got
have been
some
playing
that,
for a while.
if you've got some that was in your possessions, then yes. I mean, otherwise you've got the wet rope tangled in the mast that Indy's hanging on to. But if you've got your own rope, then by all means
Yeah.
use that. If you've got it in one of your
Indy's
packs.
used her own rope.
Let's see.
Indy has used it. Never mind. Indy is looking at you like, don't even consider it.
Yeah. So, on my character sheet, it still says that I have 50 feet rope.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm
Alrighty.
guessing I either had it all along or just never
Yeah, you
lost
probably had it in
or
one
I
of your
don't know.
packs, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you're gonna.
I mean, yeah.
How many of the seahorses would you like to try and attach to your craft?
Let's start with one.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have you make a. All right, let me work this up. Okay, I'm gonna have you, Kess, make a dexterity to like throw it and try and get it round the seahorse. I will roll for the seahorse to try and dodge you. Actually, no. He doesn't know you're coming. So
Okay.
you roll a dexterity to try and get it on the seahorse. First of all, we'll start from there. Everyone else, get your popcorn.
Okay.
Get ready to watch this marvelous moment.
Oh, fuck.
And we're off to a
Yeah.
What did you get?
6 total.
Okay. All right. You're getting the hang of this. It's not too great. All right. You sort of make a sort of makeshift lasso at the end of your rope. You sort of throw. It lands in the sea. You hear behind you, coming from the tiefling, just a very slow clap.
Would you like to try, Brat?
Oh, if you fail another 2 times, sure.
You could just try now instead of egging me on.
All
I'd
right.
like
You
to
could
see
make
you fail
yourself
more.
useful.
I'd like to see you fail some more.
Yeah,
You make
you
yourself useful. Why don't you?
All right. Fine. And he takes the rope from you.
Yeah, show if you can do better than me.
All right. He's gonna step up. Oh Christ. Okay. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, you little rogue bastard. Ah!
Drown.
We finally made Brad do something.
Nat 1 and it finally drowned. It's not great. He. Can you push him off balance using your mage hand? Sure you can. Are you going to push him so he like wobbles and I'll do it with disadvantage, or are you trying to push him overboard, Errol?
Just a wobble.
Okay, that's what I can.
Because he
I'll
was
do that
being
with
too smug
disadvantage.
about it.
Okay, and that's even worse. Okay, so with a 10, he sort of skims it atop the head of one of the seahorses, like where they've got like where a horse's mane would be, where it's sort of got knobs jutting out. It sort of catches and then falls into the water, and he's like, "Well, it was closer than you."
It was still pathetic.
Fine, and he'll like shove it back at you. Then you do it.
Must I do everything here?
Well, yes, we like to see you struggle.
It's another 6. I just rolled the same.
Well done.
All right. Brett's gonna like drag it back off you, and he's gonna try one himself again. Okay, come on, we're doing this
It's a
all day.
competition now.
I'd like to push him again.
Okay. Are you pushing him just off balance again?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I don't think I'm gonna get worse than a nat one, so no. All right, he nat ones, which so. He goes to throw it, you knock him slightly off balance, he wobbles, and him and the rope that he's holding onto topple overboard and land in the sea.
Couldn't have gone any worse than this.
Well done.
He like comes
Okay.
up like spitting water. Like, and he
So
looks
how
up
was-
at you, Errol. He's like holding the rope in his hand, treading water. He looks up at
At
you,
least
Errol,
now
like, you
we know
little
who's
fuck!
better at this.
Come down here, you shiny little fuck!
Is his eyeliner running? I imagine his eyeliner.
Yes,
Yup.
his eyeliner's running. These are brand new skinny
Well,
jeans, God!
I got them at Hot Topic, man.
Oh my god, where are these gifts coming from?
Well, at least we have established who is better at this.
Oh yeah? And he starts to slowly tread
Neither
water
of
slightly
you is
away
better.
from you. Like, I've still got the rope! And he's like pulling it away
I'm
with
just
him in the water.
I'm just calling over.
What, do you
Neither
want
of
to
you's good at
drown?
this. You're both shite.
Can I land on his head and like push?
Do me a strength check, Errol.
That's actually kind of decent.
Okay. Now bear in mind you are little. But he is holding onto a rope, sticking his finger in the air, spitting out water and trying to tread water with his legs. And I'm not 100%
In
sure that
icy
he's very good at
cold
swimming.
water.
Yeah.
Errol, we're probably gonna need that rope, so maybe don't drown the bastard yet.
You can fetch the rope of his corpse.
You
None of
fucking...
it sinks.
Aru, we are getting distracted. We will never get there like this.
Still, we don't have to get there.
Let him go, or I'm using Eldritch Blast on you.
The second time Kess has threatened you with that.
I mean, I've seen how well she's aiming at the moment.
Oh, savage.
Oh, shots fired and missed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think Kess has some things to prove now.
I'd like to take the dodge
As a-
action.
Has the sun been obscured because some shade has been thrown?
Yeah, I think Kess aims her Eldritch Blast a lot better than...
She can
Okay,
certainly try, but I'm
Yeah.
taking the dodge action.
How about we don't do this and Errol just let the douchebag out the water?
It's okay,
For
Kess
now.
is taking care of this.
But next time I get to drown him, right, Belgraf?
Yeah, okay.
Deal. And with that, I step
Errol, a
off his
jet
head
of
and
water
just
like
fly
spurts up at you like as he like comes back out.
Right, everyone. Let's not get distracted. We are trying to do something useful here. All of you squishlings. You can't get anything right.
Are the seahorses still...
Hmm?
Are the seahorses not just fucked off?
That was going to be my next comment. The seahorses, 3 of them have disappeared.
Ha!
But the other 5 are now swimming away from the kerfuffle between Kess and the tiefling boy, and they're sort of spreading out.
Okay.
They're making like a sheepdog herding sheep. They're like going round and round you in a weird sort of shape.
Okay, so Kess is trying to attract them with a ration to try to get some of them closer. And she's instructing Brett to try to get the rope on them.
Alrighty. So he is now going to try and wrestle a seahorse. So I'm just going to roll for this. Meanwhile, that's a no. That's a no.
Oh dear.
So he tries, but they're slippery bastards, and they start to move away. Meanwhile, Belgrath and Indy, as the other two in the water, you guys notice that you each have a seahorse apiece, circling you.
Do we?
Yep.
All right.
Circling you in the water, getting slightly closer and closer to you. And
Hi.
they seem to be waiting for something. And
Okay.
Okay.
as
So
Tess,
I think yeah. Oh yeah, but what did you want to say, Rosie?
I was saying you've instructed Brett to try and jump one of their comrades, and as he does this,
Yeah.
with a swish and a flick of some very glittery tails, Belgrath and Indy, can you both do me a dexterity check to dodge, because they're both going to try and lunge at you.
Oh. Haha, well, they're likely going to be disappointed because I rolled an 18, so...
Oh, to be fair,
Can I even dodge if I'm tied to the
I'm gonna say disadvantage on your dodging.
Just as... Okay, I
I'm not
think
gonna be
Your dodge
mean
might
and
be
give you
flipping
double
your laugh.
disadvantage, but like...
You're just getting a disadvantage and then -10 or something.
that was what, dexterity?
Yes.
Oh,
Excellent, Indy. Okay, well, to be fair, Indy, the one hitting you got a nat 20, and the one hitting Belgrath got a 7. So, alright, Belgrath. As the giant seahorse sort of flutters its tail and makes a sort of like dive towards you, you manage to sort of move. You're not quite in the water, but you notice it's sort of coming, like ramming towards you, a bit of flotation device. You sort of manage to like roll away so that like the door sort of like rocks up a little bit, and it sort of like whoosh, smacks into that instead of you, and then it settles itself back on the water again, and you're still floating. Meanwhile, Indy, you get hit. You get hit by a charging seahorse, who is annoyed at the fact that its friend has just been attacked by your friend, and it is doing a charge at you.
Hang on, who attacked the seahorses? What happened? I missed something.
Kess instructed her friend that you really, really like from Hot Topic
Brett.
to attempt to grab one and put essentially the reins on the seahorse. It did not like that, and nor did its friends. Indy, you take 4 points of damage from just being smacked, essentially, by the seahorse. Oh wait, no, 8, because it was a crit. Hello, Arissa!
Welcome back.
You are currently hovering in the air, watching Indy and Belgrath get attacked by seahorses. Kess is attempting to get the tiefling Brett to put a loop around one of the seahorses' necks so they can use it to pull their flotation device, and it's all going swimmingly. Pardon the pun.
As usual for this group.
It's going badly.
in response to that, Indy's just going to cast Spirit Guardians on herself.
Okay.
Which will basically attack anything that comes in 15 feet.
Okay. Cool. Does it get a reaction immediately? Because it could attack now that you've been attacked this turn, or is it going to do the next one?
Let's see. It's the casting time action. And then it's going to sit around for 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'm sorry.
I was just about to say, I'm presuming it's not going to stick around after it's rammed.
So yeah. Well, are you casting it so that it appears in response to you getting your attack, or is it go? Because the seahorse will attack you again, in which case it can then.
It's gonna. She's gonna do it in reaction to being hit.
Okay, cool. Cool. And how close are you going to keep it to you? Because you can go up to 15 feet, I think.
It's gonna be up to 15 feet.
Okay, cool. So just wherever the seahorse comes from, it'll go in front of you. Cool.
Anyone who she hasn't picked will get hurt by it.
Who have you picked, if anybody?
Currently, the 3 zombies.
Okay. Alright, good to know. Good to know. Okay, so, Belgraph,
God forbid that the lifeless, shambling corpses.
They're helping to push along. Okay, so, your seahorse Belgrath is going to come back in and do an attack against you again, but you're on the door, so do a dex again to try and get yourself out of the way of that. Would anybody in the air like to give assistance to any of your friends, or are you two just watching and laughing? Any answer
I think Cass is concentrating. Cass is trying to still get one of the seahorses tied to the raft.
Okay,
so...
I got a 10 this time.
Cool.
So yeah, so I think Cass is trying to assist Brett in getting one of the seahorses, and I have a spell for it actually.
Okay. Belgrath, can you do me a strength check to try and hang on to your piece of wood as it gets smacked by the seahorse again?
I can. I think I failed.
Okay, Belgrath, you start to slip off. It rams itself into the side, and the piece of wood sort of like jerks out of your grip, and you start to slip off it into the water. It's still there, it's still floating on the surface, but you have now landed in the ocean with a very angry seahorse.
Can I do something to the seahorse?
Of course you can.
Because I didn't get the chance to retaliate.
Go for it.
Okay, well, I was going to give it a gentle whack with prestidigitation just to learn him a bit. But if he's going to throw me off into the sea,
just to learn him,
then frankly, I'm going to smack him with a magic missile.
Okay, go for it.
Oh.
And a bonus to. Oh no, that's again. Okay. So just straightforward magic missile casting the seahorse.
Alrighty.
Okay, so on the attack. On the attack, I'm getting a 16.
Cool. That will. I'll just look at the stats now. Like, yeah, that'll hit. Okay, do your damage.
+1. Okay, so 3d4 plus 1, so I got 9 in total.
Okay. Note that. 9. Alright. Although it's quite large, the creature is quite flimsy. As your magic hits it, it takes the full force of the damage, and it's sort of like, I don't know what noise seahorses make, so I'm going to say it's something on the lines of except underwater, so and it knocks itself back forwards through the water and then tumbles a little bit, and it sort of swims backwards, like it's lurking, it's still looking at you, but it's sort of like it's taken essentially half of its health in that, because they're not very healthy creatures. So yeah, it's now retreated. It's still watching you, but it doesn't look like it's readying itself to attack you for now. So you've got it, it's like watching, but retreated.
That'll learn you.
Okay. Kess, are you trying to lasso one of the seahorses yourself? Because Brett will be fed up with having his ass kicked, so he will come back over and like throw the rope at you. Like, you do better.
So what Kessa's plan was that she could use Hold Monster as a spell to hold one of the seahorses still, and then Brett would have a chance to actually do it. But I guess if he has come back, then that's too late. But that's what I wanted to tell you earlier.
Okay, you can do that if you want. You can just do it before he comes back. We can send him back again. Just be like, no, you get out there. Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I guess she's like, look, I have a plan. I can make it stop, and then it will be as easy as taking candy away from a baby. Even you can do that.
Okay. Cass, this is a concentration spell, so you will lose your concentration on essentially controlling. Yeah. And on.
That's fine.
On your sailor, but to be fair, at this point, the sailor is staying with you because there is nowhere else for him to go, so that one doesn't matter too much. But yeah, the silent image will disappear, but that's all right. They're distracted for the moment anyway. Okay, so choosing a creature. Yep. Cool. No effect on undead. No, that's fine. Okay, so you couldn't target any of Indy's zombies then, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
It has a wisdom saving throw against. So my DC is 22.
Does a 5 beat that? No.
No.
Okay, so you cast it on one of the seahorses, and it's now held in place, which is a very weird thing for a seahorse. Because hang on, it's literally held, right?
Technically, it is paralyzed.
It's paralyzed, which means it can't swim, which means it's slowly going to start sinking.
Yeah.
So you like kick Brett in the head, like go.
Yeah, exactly.
If the tiefling could roll his eyes anymore, he like swims out to it, and he manages to like pull it by the snout and like wrestles and puts the fucking rope and ties it around its neck. Okay, and then he's like treading water with one arm, like, can you please release the spell? It's heavy. Yes, that exactly.
Fine.
Okay, so you're releasing the spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, once we have the rope.
Yeah. So he gets the rope back to you, hauling the seahorse, and you release the spell, and it's like it starts flapping around.
Yeah.
It starts pulling on the rope.
Yeah, and then we're tying the rope to the raft.
All right, cool. Yeah, there's some jutting out bits of wood you can like attach it. Okay, so you get a good hold on it. The sailor gets a good hold of the rope as well, so it's not going anywhere. You've now got this seahorse like thrashing about in the water, but it is pulling. The sailor's like trying to like shove it in directions. It's going to take a little while, but you have a tethered seahorse.
Yeah. Seahorse acquired.
Yeah. Alright. 1 sec. Okay, fail. Okay, seeing this, 2 of the other ones are gonna swim away, like, nope! They're gonna yeet out of that. Which leaves you with 2, 3, 4, 2 more. Alright, so you've got 2 seahorses. There's the one that's still sort of staring up at you, Belgarath, like, the one near Indy disappeared off, but there's another one that's sort of circling the group of you. Arissa and Ariel, you can see it from overhead. It's like circling everyone in a big hoop. Ariel's not saying a damn thing.
Errol's just gonna look on for now.
Okay.
See, my cunning plan has worked. Nothing could go wrong with it. Okay.
Angry seahorse. So, because people need to go to bed and go to sleep and go to work and various things, I won't keep us much past 11. So, in your last sort of 5-10 minutes or so, you've got 1 seahorse, you've got 2 that aren't outright attacking you, but they are keeping an eye on you. And you have 1 sort of thrashing about.
Come at me, bitch! I got more.
you can throw more at it if you want, Belgrath. 1 more good hit will probably finish it.
No, I don't want to kill it because, as far as I'm concerned, Kess is the one that pissed her off. But just as long as it's not going to come at me.
Okay.
Perfectly.
Okay. Belgrath,
We could scare it away.
Belgrath, do an intelligence check.
Intelligence of 7.
Okay.
I'm
As far as
so
you can
smart,
tell, it's not readying itself to attack. It's
All right, then.
watching you. There's not much you can get from that. So yeah, the situation
Maybe
you
just
find
want a
yourselves in
treat.
is you've got one tethered seahorse, one dripping wet tiefling. Indy and Belgraph, you've got a seahorse sort of near-ish you. One is circling the whole group. And Arissa and Errol, you're floating happily in the sky, laughing at everything in the world.
Yup.
Could everybody do me a perception check? Arissa and Errol, you get advantage because you are in the air.
Oh, fucking. I got another 6. I'm seeing everything.
I see everything! Okay.
Errol is good at perception.
Errol's good. I can't read this one, so I'm going to click on it. What does it say? The DM. Okay, if everyone's finished being stupid, the players. I had more, but you go. I think that's usually the other way around, isn't it, with us? Like, okay,
Bit of
so...
both.
Okay, Belgrath, you are in a stare-off with this with this seahorse right now. You are just staring at it like, like you're doing that thing where you look away slightly and then look back, and then you turn your head slightly, you look back, and you're still like locked eyes with each other.
Okay.
Cass and Arissa, Errol and Indy. Yeah, okay, you all did that. And Belgrath in stare off with seahorse. Okay. The rest of you, who are not too distracted by the seahorses, you notice something strange. The clouds,
Yes.
the sort of dark, dingy clouds above your head seem to be moving suddenly very quickly, and they all seem to be rushing off to the edge of the sky. But then you notice that the sea seems to have taken on a strange sort of wave. And as you look closer, Belgrath, you will eventually notice that you're starting to get pulled, and you think, "Oh, is there another current coming?" It's very strong, but it starts to lift you upwards, and ever so slowly.
Let's get out of here fast.
Ever so slowly, the sky and the sea are changing places. So, like, your entire world
Right.
is slowly being flipped upside down. It gets to about 90 degrees, goes through to 180 and stops. With a do, as if somebody just turned an hourglass upside down.
Well, I'm not happy about this.
Errol and Arissa,
Okay.
you two are okay, but could you do me acrobatics checks to sort of maintain being in the air and circular? Kess and Indy, you're fine. Indy, you're absolutely fine. Belgarath and
Why?
Kess, could you two please do me strength checks to hold on to the pieces of raft that you are currently attached to? Indy tied to the raft like a motherfucking baller.
Well, I'm about to fall into the sky, so this is happening. Okay. 10 strength.
Oh.
Wow, well done, Kess. Okay.
Kess got really lucky. Kess is holding onto the sailor, and the sailor is holding onto the raft.
Okay.
Wait, shouldn't the sailor also attempt to hold on?
Yep, I'm rolling for those, don't worry.
No, they're all dead.
They're all dead.
Well, it was mostly in response to Kes just saying, well, Kes is
Oh,
holding
the sailor!
with that squad.
Okay.
I mean, no. To be honest, I was just assuming the sailor is doing better, but
Okay. Errol and Arissa, can you do your acrobatics for staying floating. Belgrath with your 10. Indy's touched up. Indy's so pleased with herself right now. Okay, the sailor got a 19, so he manages to hang on to both you and the raft, Kess. He's okay. He's like holding onto it around the edges. He's dug his fingers into the grooves. Brett didn't roll as well, and he's now slid down to the very back of the raft and is like scrabbling and holding onto it with his fingertips right at the back. Yep. Okay. Belgarath, your entire world flips upside down. You're on the top of the door, so you are now underneath it. You've got like one hand like hanging on to the side of this. I'm going to call it a door for now because why not? You're now hanging onto the side of this, your body dangling into open space.
Me falling off, but the doors are fine. It makes no sense.
And Indy, you sort of like, you're sort of like holding on, and your skeleton buddies and you are all just sort of holding on like a trio, holding onto the monkey bars, except that you're now tied. So you're like the koala in the middle of these three monkeys holding onto monkey bars, like, oh. Looking down at everyone like, well, this is a pickle. Arissa, you got 9. You're in the air, so it's fine. But you do find yourself upside down, if that makes sense. So the world flipped upside down, and you stayed where you were. So you sort of moved with it. And you've now got your head upside down, but you're looking in the right direction, but something's not quite right. Everyone's hanging on to things and upside down. So essentially, to everybody else, you were upside down. But in terms of the world, like the sea's at your feet, the sky's at your head. Why is this feeling wrong?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Eris is just very confused.
Mood.
I mean, that's just my life, isn't it?
Yep.
Arissa is upside down. And Ariel, you got a 27. Oh, right, fine, Ariel. You're blooming fine, aren't you? Ariel has the zoomies. Ariel's just zooming around. Okay. So in order for everybody to get to bed, I will leave you on that note of, you guys are, some of you are tied, happily, looking around confusedly. Some of you hanging on for dear life. The good news, Indy, is you're no longer cold. You're just in the air now. Like, you're a little bit chilly, but you're no longer in the freezing cold water. So, bonus. So yeah, 2 of you flying.
I wonder if we pissed off someone by tying up that
The entire world just stuck ground to a halt for this one seahorse. But yeah, I will leave you guys there on that literal cliffhanger. Well, debris hanger.
Kind of.
That works. Awesome. All right,
Thank you, Rosie.
I will turn off your recording if everyone wants to shout some sort of obscenity into it before you go. Tatty bang!
Tatty bang!